Power supply uses 8 of these TO92 cased devices. These are not electrically the same. What we've got, and this is a top view, this is a PNP transistor. There are 3 of them in the power supply design. This transistor, an 1815, is an NPN transistor, and it's a complementary to the 1015. Third device is a TL431. Same case, same pinout numbering. It's a precision shunt regulator, and while we've got emitter base collector, or emitter collector base for a transistor, we have reference anode and cathode here. In the bill of material, there's the 4 transistors, Q1 through Q3 and Q5. And then here is U1 through U4, which are adjustable shunt regulators. So here's a 3-terminal device. It happens to be a TL431. And you see the silk screen shows a flat side and then a round side. That's meant to be this shape, but pictorially it's been squashed and lengthened. But you see there's 3 holes. The transistors, since the board was designed to use either, in this case, an 8550 or an A1015, and they have different pinouts. So the board was fitted with 4 holes, 2 transistor outlines, and you install the 1000 series transistors down in these 3 holes, and the 8000 up in this hole, and this hole, and this hole. When I drew the PC board layout, here is one of the TL431s. Here is Q2. Now I laid it out as if it was a 1000 series transistors. Now I laid the outline out as a distorted TO3 case, and because the kit I have today used the 1000 series transistors, I marked this unused hole with a black dot. There's 4 transistors, 1 black dot, 2, 3, and 4. There's 2 more black dots that we'll get to in a little while. And you see here that I put a note on that says, denote a hole through that's not used for construction. The reason I'm doing all this is because maybe in a year or 2, or maybe previously, somebody used the 8000 series when they parted out the kit, in which case this would be the unused hole and this would be flipped around the other way. So all of the plastic envelope devices are installed, and you see next to each transistor is a spare hole. The TL431s, of course, don't need spare holes. The kit came with 3 LEDs, and if you watch the volt log session on this power supply kit, he soldered the LEDs directly to the circuit board. Let's look at LED 3. It's flattened on one side of its round case. Here we see LED 3 with the flat shown facing this way. That's incorrect. The flat is actually facing this way, that way. All three of the LED silk screening is not correct. This little symbol inside here is correct. When I inventoried the contents of my kit, I came up with J1 through 8. J7 and 8 are the input and output connectors, and there are 2 screw clamp type connector. 1 through 6 are pin connectors. And in that case, not only is the connector supplied, but the mating wire is supplied. My kit came with 2 of these 2 screw terminals, designated them as J7 and J8. It came with 2 3-pin connectors, which I've designated J3 and 4, and then 4 2-pin connectors, which I've designated as J1, J2, J5, and J6, and then came with mating connectors with flying leads. And I can do the same thing with the other ones. When it came to figuring out where these went, it was obvious that the input and output connectors went here. There are 2 variable resistors that would probably be mounted remotely. I've decided to use these 3-pin connectors to remotely locate these 2 adjustments. One's the voltage adjustment and one's the current limiting adjustment. There is a fan which probably will go on a heat sink for Q4, and a thermistor that's located on the heatsink on Q4. And now there were 3 LEDs and only 2 of these. So I pictured mounting them here and here. I'll probably get, for my inventory, a 2-pin connector for this LED and a set of flying leads to match it. But since I drew up these plans and the bill of materials to match the contents of my kit, I just designated these 2 LEDs to be remotely mounted. I'm going to reserve judgment on LED 3. And you can see I've already made corrections somewhere. I forgot 2 components, and I mislabeled these 2, which is one of the reasons I'm assembling this now, to try to catch mistakes. The fan is polarized, and I've marked a plus and minus on the PC layout. There's also a plus symbol right here on the board. Now there's a little tiny plus symbol down here. That's referring to this capacitor. Now, the Chinese are pretty good at this. I've gotten these, when you look at them with a keyed area, I've actually got them with the red and black wire reversed. So if we're going to use red as the positive wire, Let's make sure it's oriented to fit the red as connected to positive, black to negative. It seems like the board is laid out to accept them in this configuration, with the indexing on this side. This side's just plain. Actually, I've indicated it by offsetting the two jacks, because if you look at them, they're not centered. And the same way with the LEDs, positive is this terminal up here. Okay. Now, the thermistor is not polarized, and these are going to go to a potentiometer, which you just switch the wires if it's going in the wrong direction. There again, the holes are offset on the circuit board as well, so they go like that.